Welcome to Timeball Games. I'm ELD, here to ask you for help in growing the channel. When we reach 2,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber. So be sure to like and subscribe. Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Timeball Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Lucas on Grixis Delver versus Colby playing Stoneblade, a turn 1 ponder. Shuffles and draws a card for Colby as he's able to lead out with a basic land. If he can keep basics largely on the board, he'll be able to avoid the mana denial element of Grixis. Jace the Mind Sculptor is taken with that Thoughtseize. Looks like this is a Bant Stoneblade. We had Tropical Island in there as well. Played a lot of Grixis, not Grixis, Esper Stoneblade back in the day. Was a very fierce combination for quite a while. Red certainly has gotten a bunch of good printing since then. Volcanic Island adds for Lucas his second land. And right now, Colby's mana base could be all basics. He's got a couple of fetch lands. He can get whatever color he needs, or he can make sure the mana base is resilient. But man, his hand is just getting torn apart here. We've got a Brainstorm in response. Wow, and Lucas is going to Force of Will there. What is he going to see? Arkham's Astrolabe? And a Swords to Plowshares? I believe that was Astrolabe. Oh no, it looks like maybe a Entreat the Angels from the vault? Baby Teferi. And this guy is really a problem in control matchups that don't have a board presence. I think Grixis very often can land a threat against this card and just clear it. But many of the control strategies that don't have access to cards like Delver of Secrets can struggle to remove him without expending a card like Lightning Bolt. Now we've got Gurmag Angler. So Lightning Bolt did actually clear the Teferi. My point about him is when he gets down, he starts ticking up. I mean, when you draw your second card off of Teferi, that is very often just the end of the game. That card advantage is just going to lead to more card advantage. You know, like if they weren't able to clear him and then you draw a card, they're going to be less likely to be able to clear him the next time. As Gurmag Angler, however, taking huge chunks off of Colby's life total. And now Ponder sees a Reanimate. That is a spicy card for Grixis. Normally only seen in the main deck of Death Shadow, because the deck actually wants to be losing the life total. You've got Street Wraith, so it's essentially another Delver of Secrets in that deck, just able to get for 7 mana. You're able to cycle Street Wraith and then reanimate it on the first turn with the fetch land and a shock. Your Death Shadows can actually start coming down as early as turn 2. And now Colby's able to fetch Mystic Sanctuary. Super powerful printing. Glad that it's at common too. It's like not an expensive card. And just works so well with fetch lands. They really are just the best lands ever printed. Swords to Plowshares clears Gurmag Angler, and Force of Will shows up just in time to potentially defend this Dreadhorde, but he's got to reanimate. I think you just let that go. Brainstorm from Colby. That reanimate's going to look amazing with this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Wow, and Oko. That guy's a problem. Everybody that played against him, very well aware of just how big a problem this guy is. Lucas, of course, going to Force of Will. And a second land for Colby coming down. Oh, we may have seen some information there. Looks like the top card. Oh, Terminus tucking Dreadhorde Arcanist. Now Delver of Secrets in hand along with Reanimate. We've got a Delver. And Reanimate Dreadhorde. Colby out of fetch lands. So if he has another Mystic Sanctuary, not going to be able to pick it up. Just draws a card and says go. Dreadhorde Arcanist starts setting up the card advantage. Not only is he going to be getting an extra card a turn from those cantrips, he's also going to ensure that this Delver of Secrets flips. And this is going to be over in just a couple of turns unless Colby draws a literal miracle. Terminus would get him out of this. Prior to combat, Colby may have responses once that Dreadhorde turns sideways. Force of Will pitching Daze stops the Snapcaster, which could have caused some big problems. And Reanimate snags that Snapcaster. That is really a savage turn of events. So Dreadhorde Arcanist grabs the Snapcaster after it gets Force of Willed via Reanimate. And now a Swords to Plowshares has to be expended just to get the Delver off the board to stay alive, but Lethal's still on board. Ponder needs to see a Brainstorm with a Terminus. It's pretty much Brainstorm or bust here. Brainstorm would allow a card to be drawn on Lucas's turn. Swords to Plowshares clears the Snapcaster. Isn't there a Bolt in the bin? Did he already use that? The Bolt that cleared Teferi, I didn't see that get replayed. Another Dreadhorde comes online, and now Colby scooping it up to go on to game number 2 as Grixis showing some real resiliency there. Stoneblade tried repeatedly to keep that board clear, but Force of Will in particular able to prevent anything too damaging from happening as Grixis takes a pretty low pressure when I don't think Colby really had a board presence at all in that matchup. All right, able to skip over the shuffling there. Colby starting out with a snow-covered island and passing the turn. Polluted Delta for Lucas, enabling that coveted turn 1 Delver. It's going to get a Brainstorm in response from Colby. And will he Force of Will here while tapped out? This is dangerous territory. A bold line there for Colby. Could have gotten blown out by Daze. However, Lucas didn't have it. That game would have probably been pretty much over on the spot if that Delver stuck and Colby lost the Force of Will. But oh, he's got extra Force of Wills here, so not really worried about anything. And oh, Lucas actually has a Force back. And now Thought sees a couple of Monastery Mentors and a Pyroblast, neither of them castable right now. This Dreadhorde Arcanist, really brutal. taking out both of those mentors. And now that Reanimate's looking super spicy. If Lucas can draw that, he'd love to have a Monastery Mentor with all of these extra cards being played. Thoughtseize just an absolute wrecking ball this game. Winter Orb too. Despite Colby not having any tapped lands, Lucas feels he's far enough ahead now that it's time to just ride this one out. Colby's going to have to tap some mana at some point in order to catch up, and Lucas is going to be happy if he just doesn't have mana turn after turn in the effort to turn the tide. Fetch land, that snow-covered forest feeling painful right now, as it's not going to allow any type of Mystic Sanctuary shenanigans. And now we've got yet another Thoughtseize. This one grabs a Tundra and a Swords to Plowshares targets Dreadhorde Arcanist. Flusterstorm. He's going to have to pay 3. That is going to do it. Ooh, Veil of Summer, very nice. So Veil of Summer actually going to counter the Thoughtseize and the Flusterstorm. A surprising play there. What didn't feel like he had Veil of Summer in hand. Really got maximum value out of that. Played around that Flusterstorm incredibly. A lot of people would have just thrown that Veil of Summer out there to stop the Thoughtseize. Another Dreadhorde Arcanist now. And Force of Will clears it. Wasteland takes out the Tundra, setting Colby back to just basics and this fetch land. That Veil of Summer just worked out so perfectly, being able to swords in response and then bait that counter spell. Brainstorm gets Pyroblasted. Pyroblast, I think the stock has gone way up on, given just how good Veil of Summer is. You can at least destroy blue permanents with it, which is no small thing. Omniscient, Snapcaster Mages, Jace the Mind Sculptors, there are a lot of blue permanents. So being able to not have to be stuck in counterspell mode, very strong. Plus it doesn't actually trigger, or it doesn't set up the card draw for Veil of Summer. Arkham's Astrolabe for Connor. And Ponder for Lucas, as he's having a much tougher time this game keeping a threat down. Scalding Tarn. And again, yeah, he's got a defensive hand. I mean, he's got Force of Will. Mystic Sanctuary coming in. Putting Brainstorm on top. It is definitely a play to make when you don't have anything good in your hand and your Brainstorms are going to be super high value, getting rid of 2 potentially dead cards. Really is the best combo in the game. And Force of Negation is also added to Lucas's hand. Colby is down to 10 life without any major damage. This has been a trickle of Force of Wills and fetch lands and pokes from Dreadhorde Arcanists, and now an Unearth. What a spicy list this is. Unearth and Reanimate, and a fistful of blue cards. That Brainstorm fires off. Setting up Terminus. And Force of Negation has to be pitched. And now Force of Will stops the Pyroblast, so outside of hard cast range. Oh, and he's got a Swords to Plowshares, so Terminus tried to tuck it. There was a battle over that, and then Swords to Plowshares resolves, which is slightly better than Terminus. There's a little bit of a difference between having Dreadhorde exiled or just tucked to the bottom of the library. Makes it slightly less likely to draw a Dreadhorde Arcanist. If it was Terminus, would have been more likely, but he just has one anyways. And he's just continues to do so much damage. Not so much life total damage, but just these extra cards. I mean, to be able to Force of Will twice to defend your threat, have it removed with the Swords to Plowshares, and then still have a full grip here. I mean, this is something. Not quite a full grip, but I mean, he's got a bunch of cards in hand. And even if a Terminus happens here off of this other Mystic Sanctuary, no, it is not going to be Terminus. He draws Brainstorm. And he brainstorms for turn. Putting back a couple cards and a fetch land. We'll see how many Mystic Sanctuaries he has. It's 2 so far. And he's got a Bolt, which quickly wraps it up. Dreadhorde loves throwing that extra damage in there. Bolt pre-combat and then attack. That's 6 extra damage. Practically Might Evokes for 1 mana. And Grixis Delver proving to be very difficult to contain there with Lucas at the helm. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.